top of the table.
Are you one of those parents who constantly gets the feedback from school about how your kid doesn't listen to instructions, or how impatient your kid is, or how your kid refuses to share anything with others? If yes, then you might be struggling with the development of social skills in your kid. Hello and a very warm welcome to Top of the Table. I'm your host Sheetal Sharma, and to answer all the hows and whys of developing social skills in kids, we have with us a renowned child psychologist, Vasudha Agarwal. Welcome, Vasudha.
Thank you, Sheetal. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, the pleasure is all ours, Vasudha. So, to jump right into the topic, tell me first and foremost, why is there so much emphasis laid on social skills? Is it because we want our children to be very well behaved?
Why there is so much emphasis laid on social skills is because social skills are something which are very outwardly visible. If we look into the development of a child or generally as a development of a human life, the development is divided into various areas like physical, social, emotional, thinking. But out of these, only the social and the physical areas are something which are outwardly visible to anyone. So that's why the social skills are laid lot of emphasis on. And when we say that, okay, why do we really want only a well behaved child? I think well behaved child says a lot more because, well behaved child means that there is a social approval about your parenting, social approval to the child, and also if there is a social approval and social acceptance and validation of the child, that means he is going or she is going to have a good healthy relationships. And what does this good healthy relationship means is that they are going to have a healthy and a successful life. That's what research says. So the social skills are not just basically having an eye contact or just a smile. It means social skills means that a child is having a healthy relationship. Healthy relationship means a happy and successful life, and I think that's what we all parents want for our kids.
So, and Vasudha, I also feel like you said that, like you rightly pointed out, I think that what you were saying towards the end, that, having a good life, etc., that is something that comes to the mind of a parent much later. But the initial thing is for their parenting and the child to get social acceptance. I think that is the reason why you push your kids so hard to be very, very well behaved, isn't it?
Absolutely. That social approval for your parenting also, So that also is very, very important nowadays, that pressure that comes in and also for the kid. So that's why the social skills comes very handy and that becomes very important. And that's why we push our kids to be very well behaved as far as social situations are concerned.
But I also think, Vasudha, sometimes what happens is that, we as parents also end up pushing our kids too much, to just get that social approval. So how can one strike a balance there?
So true, Sheetal. I think yeah, I receive a lot of queries from the parents that my child is does not say hi or does not greet anyone when we go out, and so yeah, there is a lot of pressure that the child has to follow certain rules and the social rules, especially in the social situations. So that parents have to be very reassured that their child is unique. That is the foremost thing. I fail to understand when there is a lot of comparison that happens, that okay, the look at the other child, he always greet the other parents, or he's always smiling, or there is always an eye contact. It's very, very, that parents immediately have to stop their thinking process there. They have to have a belief system that their child is unique and that their parenting is the best and they know what is best for their child. And they have to have that confidence on themselves that if they have those social skills that they want to imbibe in their child, then automatically from you and from the environment the child will definitely get in. So the first, as you asked, where to strike the balance is, the first of all is stop comparison. That is the first step. Second is to be reassured that if you have those social skills, the child will automatically get it. And thirdly, it's very important that you should be aware of the child development, per se, that okay, at the age of 2 years my child won't be sharing the things with others, But if you compare that child with the 4-year-old child, that okay, 4-year-old child would share, because then at that time they are learning cooperation and collaboration. At the age of 2 years, a child just wants to be left alone and play alone. Maybe the children are playing along with him, but the sharing part does not come in. So that is a part of his growing up, that is a part of his child development. So you have to be very well aware of that child development thing. And secondly, be reassured that your child will do good, if will be good in social skills, if you have that in you.
Absolutely, Vasudha, and this is so true because I remember one of my friends. I hadn't become a mother back then, but she told me that a kid doesn't learn when you teach them something. A kid learns when he observes you, doing certain things. So, like you rightly said, that you are the biggest example in front of your kid. So, how you behave and how you interact is what the kid is going to imbibe, and that is how it's going to reflect outside. So, I think that we as parents also need to kind of watch out for what are the kind of messages that we are giving to a kid and the kind of social skills that we ourselves have.
Definitely, completely agree to that, Sheetal. Yes, modeling, as you say, that is the best strategy to help the child learn the social skills. And that model has to be the parent first.
So, Vasta, tell me, when do we start this learning process with our kids? I mean, I have a 7 month old baby, and she already is learning a lot of social skills with every passing month. And in fact, these social skills are also the biggest milestones for an infant. Something like, passing a social smile, that which a parent craves for, that is also a milestone. So, when do we start this learning process?
Sheetal, as you rightly said, these are the developmental milestones. So there is no learning involved here. So this is the developmentally child is progressing and you are not doing anything about it. Where your learning comes in, where your modeling as a parent comes in, where you have to put an input is a two-way communication that is happening. A child is going through a certain stages of development. Like at 7 months, you said that child is greeting the mother with the smile, that smile that comes in. And so at that time, how the parent is responding, that is where the real learning comes in. If the child is being reinforced, if that smile is being reinforced, with a bigger smile of the parent, then the child feels that, oh, okay, I am being loved, I'm being taken care of. And this is where I need to keep on repeating this behavior, because this is being reinforced by my parents, that there is a communication that is happening. So, and then as the child moves on, right, 7 months, this is the phase. And then as the child moves on, he'll start, directing his behavior also. Like he will run towards you as his physical mobility improves. He will run as you come from back from the office, or he will just go and open the fridge and tell you that, okay, I'm hungry. So basically, then he'll start using his lot of, physical movement, and he's showing a behavior to get a response from you. And now as a parent, how you respond back, so that is very crucial. If you are in a very good healthy emotional state, you know and you respond to the child lovingly, joyfully, passionately, then the child feels that, okay, when I smile, when I run towards, when I love, when I'm being kind, or when I cheerful, so when I greet my parents, when I take initiative, so that is the time when my parents feel happy. So a child will keep on repeating that behavior. But unfortunately, sometimes what happens is that due to the postnatal depression, or because of other emotional conflicts at home between the husband and between the wife, and all because of maybe there is too much of, after the child is born, there is too much demand on the environment, on the another financial or physical the of the parent, resources of the parent. Sometimes a parent forgets that they are providing everything to the child materialistically, but they are unable to provide the child emotionally. So there, the child feels that, okay, he's not being responded. So there, then he stops taking initiatives. And when he stops taking initiative in the social skills, and then he tries to curb his feelings and emotions, and then he becomes, then we say that he becomes little shy to express himself. So it's a, so when you say about learning process, when it starts right from the birth of the child. And the only thing that is required at that time is the responsiveness from the parent. Child is growing developmentally as he has to. Only the responsiveness to the need and the development of the child, that is what is required.
So well
Right.
put, Vasudha. And while you were explaining all those things, I was just, picturizing and visualizing this thing again, because what happens with my daughter is that every time that I, am back to her after work
Mhm.
and everything, or she sees me between work,
Mhm.
she greets me with such a huge grin and a smile, which is extremely gratifying, and sometimes, yes, what also happens is that because you are in the middle of some work or everything, you tend to kind of miss that particular moment. But then there are also times when you just hold her because she's giving you such a lovely smile, and I think that we need to practice a bit of mindfulness right there, that in case if your child is like literally smiling at you, I think the least that you can do is that give him a hug.
Absolutely, you are absolutely, Sheetal. That's the right thing. That mindfulness, then presence, and that the child is growing at his own pace. You just have to be responsive and be present for that particular child. And then whatever he's offering to you, like the values that you want that him or her to inculcate in him or her. For example, you want him to be cheerful, happy, and joyful. And when he expresses those, then you have to be equally responsive to that. That is what is required, and he definitely will develop those as his or her social skills in future.
Yes, because if you look at it, it's you are the first person that the child is experiencing as another human being, and the kind of responses that you give to the child is what the child is going to eventually learn, right? I mean, if the child smiles at you and you smile back, like you said, that that is a reassurance for the child that, oh, this reacts the same kind of feeling, or if the child is crying and you kind of hold the child, that means that the child understands, okay, this is the kind of reaction that I get by doing this. So I think that it's a lot of reassurances. It's almost like a scratch disc, and it's up to you what you fill into that scratch disc, right? What kind of music, what kind of thoughts, what kind of words.
Definitely, Sheetal. And as you rightly said, if you hold a child, then it provides the child with such a great feeling of trust that okay, if I'm ever in a problem or if I'm in a distress, I will be taken care of. Then that anxiety that builds up in the future, that does not build up. So that first feelings of that trust that to be taken care of is established by the parent, and then all those anxieties and the fears that we talk about in the children that that is being taken uh, all over the world right now, so that will be taken care of also. So that's so beautifully put by you, Sheetal.
Thank you, Vasudha. Now tell me that we've spoken about infants, now coming to children who are 1 to 4 years of age. What about the social skills that they need to have or they learn during this age?
Yeah. So that's so important to understand that okay, at every age their children have different development needs and different development skills, right? So for example, when you're talking about the age of 1 to 4 years, that is the preschool age, right? So that child is able learning about turn taking and being joyful, taking initiatives and following the directions, listening to the instructions of the parents of the or the kids. And then also we are teaching the child using some manner like saying namaste when someone comes in, or saying hello to others. And also the most important thing is respecting of the personal spaces at this age. That is, we want our child to respect his or her personal space as well as others. Don't be get too mushy, or just don't cling to others so much, and have your own space bubbles that schools are generally teach kids right now, that okay, respect your boundaries. So all these skills are important, and yes, definitely at the child in the age of 1 to 4 years start going to school also. So both the school as well as the parents have an equal role to play here while teaching these social skills.
And Vasudha, when you talk about respecting, learning to respect the personal space, how
Mhm.
can one teach their kid this particular very important skill set?
Yeah, so like we have to teach a child that like everything has limitations. That's equally like even your body. This is your body. This is something that you have to be very respectful for. Not each and everybody can enter this body, right? So this is like, we teach them through circles. There is a very beautiful exercise that is called as boundary circles. That okay, this one circle, this is the innermost circle, which is you. And beyond that, there is another circle, which will be your parents, which will be your grandparents, and beyond that there will be the third circle, which will be your friends or the neighbors, and beyond that there will be some circle which are like teachers and the strangers. So then through these boundary circles we can teach them that this circle, you have to decide who enters your circle, and not everyone can enter that circle. So that's a very beautiful way and beautiful visual way to express to the child that okay, you have the self control, you have the right to say yes or no who can enter your circle. If you feel unsafe, if you feel that you're not good enough, not ready for it, that anybody should enter your social circle, you have the right to say no. But at this time a role of parent becomes very important, because generally because of the social hesitation we just assume that it's okay for other people to hug a child, or just do the chubby rubbing of the this cheek rubbing of the kids. It's okay, it's cute. But if we have to tell the child that if he or she feels that no one should touch them, it's perfectly okay and we will stand by you. That reassurance has to come from the parent to the child, that okay, it's okay to have your own space boundaries.
And I think, Vasudha, this is also, I'm sure that, that is also something that you're implying, that this is also step number one to ensure that a child does not get in a situation where she is abused, in any way by any other person. And he or she kind of develops that kind of trust in you as a parent, that they can come to you and tell you in case if something of that sort has happened.
Definitely, that's the most important thing. And yeah, so as you rightly said in the beginning, that this learning starts at the time of the birth also. So yes, from the very beginning, start respecting the if you start respecting the personal spaces of the child, if you start giving respect to the the boundaries of the child yourself at the home, and and tell the child that okay, this is right, this is wrong, and this is not acceptable, and it's okay if you say yes, if you it's okay if you say no, then automatically this social skill will develop in him.
And Mastha, when we talk about 5 to 6 years of age,
Mhm.
the kids who are in that age bracket when they've entered school and everything, then what are the social skills that you feel are necessary for those kids to have?
So when we talk about 5 to 6 years, so basically we are talking of the kids which are like in the first grade or in the kindergarten. So in the that grades, so again depending on the situation where they are in, like the environment, like school or the home. So they require a lot of sitting. Lot of sitting means that kind of self control, that they have to sit down for about 30 minutes. They can't run around in the classroom when the teacher is teaching them. They have to sit down. They have to sit down for their studies, and they have to focus. And then definitely there is a lot of you will see at this age a lot of fighting among among the siblings and among the friends that take place. Then the conflict resolution also that comes in, the skill of that okay, sometimes they will compromise, sometimes they will stand up for themselves, sometimes they will say it's okay, you can take it, or you can they can take a back seat over there. And a lot of hygiene practices also comes in here. Then because they have to keep their hair, their face, their clothes they neat and tidy. And sometimes you still see that they'll become more organized. They keep their study tables organized, they keep their rooms organized. And yeah, so and yeah, a lot of patience also develops here, listening to the others. A lot of parents start playing a lot of board games with the kids. Turn taking skills came come into picture. A lot of cooperation happens. They have to listen to the other child. They have then they then agree to the to what other child is saying. So this kind of things that comes into picture. A lot of empathy is also starts developing at this age.
Absolutely, Vasudha. So it is quite apparent that when you talk about social skills in kids, it starts right after birth. But raising another human being is not an easy task. And after all that hard work, if someone turns around and indicates that you have failed in raising the kid, well, then that surely hurts. And that response is usually when a kid lacks social skills. So tell me first, how to cope with the pressure as a parent for starters.
It's very valid question. Being a parent myself, I think I can tell you that this parent shaming is not uncommon, and it starts from the house. The mother-in-law telling the daughter-in-law, our kids were not like that. Our kids, Whenever we ask the children to sit down, they will sit down, but these kids, they don't listen, they don't pay attention. So this parent shaming is very, very, very common. At this time, it becomes very important to turn inwards for the parents, and they have to believe in themselves that okay, that this child who they have given birth, if they have given birth to a child, they have the capability to raise that child in a proper manner also. And every child, as I right earlier also said, that is a very, very unique person. And that comparison, first of all, comparison has to completely stop. Parents should not compare themselves with other parents. First of all, that comparison has to stop. Secondly, comparing their child with the other child, that has to stop completely. Then when they will do this, they will feel that they are at peace. Once they are at peace, they will be able to raise a very peaceful child also. The outside voices, as you, Shital, it's like it could not be from the family, coming from the family, it could be from the media, which is keep on teaching you that okay, this is the right way to do the thing, this is not the right way to do the things. There was a concept of helicopter parenting, that if you are involved with the child too much, then this is called helicopter parenting. But if you're not involved with the child, then then you are a neglected parent because you're not paying attention. So the balance that the parents has to create has to come from within. Self-reflecting, observing the child, okay, that what works for my child. For example, a parent feels that okay, my child does not greet the other parents. Okay, so what is the reason behind it? Is that in a family we don't greet others when they come in, or is it because the child feels anxious? If that is also the case, then also the parents should let it be, and then also they should just keep on reinforcing the positive behavior that the child is displaying and not paying attention to the negative behavior that the child is showing. Automatically the child will feel confident, and he will get rid of all the anxieties, and he will be able to perform the social skills. So
Absolutely, Vasudha. And I like they say that there is no right or wrong way of parenting, because with every child you need to tweak those things according to the child, and I think that is what we need to learn. So now coming to the big question, guide us, Vasudha, how to get started on this journey to develop social skills in your kid.
it's the child and the parent and the environment. So these are the three basically pillars, right? So how to get started on this is, the number one is that you have to be very sure as a parent is that okay, these are the values that I want in my child. As we rightly try, make a note of all those values, that okay, I want my child to have a good active listening skill, I want my child to listen. So what do you do? How will you start with that? You have to show that active listening skills first. When your child approaches you, you leave everything and then listen to the child. Automatically the child will learn this social skill, that okay, when someone is talking to me, I have to pay attention to this his to him or her. That is the first important skill. Secondly, okay, we have to be kind to others. We, as you said, we can't preach, the child is observing us. Okay, how can we be kind to others? Is that okay, that we are being respectful when someone talks to us, that okay, and we are not passing remarks, negative remarks to others, we are not hurting others. That should be the mantra. Like that is the mantra that I give to my kids also. Don't hurt others, and don't let others hurt you as well. So that is very important social skills that I think is very important. So, by the way, if you are passing negative comments to others, if you are passing negative comments to your child, if you are hurting your child, if you are being unkind to your child, the child is learning all these skills. So, being kind to, if you are kind to others, if you are kind to the child will automatically be kind to you. Thirdly is the collaboration, teamwork, making involved, be a making a child involved in the team skills and the decision making of the house. So where small decision, okay, where we have to go for the family vacation, or where we have to go for the dinner today, or where we are going to go for the lunch today. If you are involve a child into the decision making, child is learning collaboration and the teamwork. So that is the third important skill. Then fourthly is the empathy, that we want our children to learn, like empathetic towards others, like okay, what the other child is feeling. Even during the story times, when child is reading a book, we can always ask them, ask a child that okay, what is the child, what is this particular person feeling? That is developing a empathy, that is putting yourself into the shoes of the others. This is how the child learns about the empathy. And then another important skill is that about the, I think, assertiveness, standing for yourself, protecting your personal boundaries. That again we have spoken about, is that this is the most important skill. If we are listening to the child, if we are standing for the child, if the child is saying something, we are respecting the words of the child, automatically the child will feel that, okay, whatever I'm saying, that holds importance, that I can stand up for myself. So these are the important skills. Everything that, as you rightly said, that everything comes starts from the parents, from the home environment. They are the first two teachers in the child's life. So there we have to be start with the social skills.
Very beautifully put, Vasudha. Also, what in case if your child has passed crossed the age of 6 years and lacks some social skills? What are the measures that a parent can take to introduce these social skills back to the kid?
See, if your child has passed the 6 years of age, and if you feel that child has not developed the social skills, first of all, I would request you to go for a psychological evaluation. It's it like, what kind of social skills are lacking. If there is no eye contact, if there is no, social reciprocal communication happening with the between the kids, or between the parent and the kid, so then a psychological evaluation to diagnose for ADHD or autism spectrum, that is required. So you can go for that. But if you think that, okay, it's not something that major, but it's something like, say, a child is not just listening to you or not paying attention, he's just distracted, I think then, these are the following strategies that I've already told you. Just start modeling that behavior, start reinforcing those behavior. Or you can also start having the behavior charts. For example, if you want your child to listen to you the first time you call him, so you can have a behavior chart lined up, and in front of, in the child's board, you can just pin a chart, and in which you write about, like, okay, the goal of this week is to listen to mama for the first time she calls me. So every time the child responds to you at the first time, you give a star to that particular child, and after a week you can give him a reward, or her a reward, like whatever the child likes, or outing, or hug, or a pat, or maybe extra half an hour of TV. So this is called a behavior reinforcement. So you focus on one skill at a time and try to work on it. So lastly, I would just like to say that, the punishment and the scolding never works if you want to teach children the social skills. Yes, rewards, reinforcement, focusing on the goals will definitely work, and modeling, yes.
Awesome, Vasudha. That was great information. So to wrap this all up, I'd tell my listeners that always remember your child is unique, and therefore your parenting style too must be unique. Also, you are the first point of contact to the world for your child. He or she learns most of the skills from you. So practice what you teach, so that the kid can observe and learn. Reward your child for behaving well or showing awesome social skills. This would help in making your child understand the reaction their action invites. So, thank you so much, Vasudha, for all these very, very important points. I'm sure our listeners will benefit from it a lot. I definitely am going to benefit a lot from it with a 7 month old right at my hand. And thank you so much for joining us today. And thank you, listeners, for joining us and listening to our podcast. We'll be back again with another exciting episode on Top of the Table.